It's been such a long time since Boston led the way. It's more than a feeling. It's Mike and Tom to start the day. The heart of Massachusetts should be freedom, justice, and liberty. Freedom led pilgrims to Plymouth Bay. Salem trials had justice too late. The sons of liberty spilled the tea, and then the redcoats spilled their blood. The shot heard around the world rang out from the Bay State. Boston strong and ready to defend. It's where revolution started and ends. It's been such a long time since Boston led the way. It's more than a feeling. It's Mike and Tom to start the day. Quincy Market, Freedom Trail, Charles River, Boston Harbor, Bunker Hill, Griffin's Wharf, Fenway Park, North Charge. It's been such a long time since Boston led the way. It's more than a feeling. It's Mike and Tom to start the day.
Boom.
Boom.
I just saw your text.
I can't. Just
I know.
I know.
I
say, listen,
get
hey,
it,
how'd
bro.
you sleep last night, buddy? You get some
like a
rest?
babe. I finally took stupid. I'm like anti-pill, anti-anything.
Okay. Yeah.
Anything that I can put my body as poison. But my wife
Sure,
finally got me to take allergy medicine, and
Okay.
game changer.
Big difference, huh? Breathing.
Oh,
Wait, dude, listen,
Oh,
it's gonna get
oh.
bad. I'll wait till all the oak stuff starts coming out. Everything's gonna
But,
be yellow. We're like
Tommy,
coating
I
yellow.
never had allergies before.
I know. Toots, good morning, Toots. Remember for 6 months?
Like this crazy shit. I just never had allergies before, and all of a sudden
Yeah,
I have
but
allergies.
your body's changing, my friend.
Yeah, I know.
Dude, can you imagine being a woman going through that, changing?
No.
I'm good. I'm good.
No. Well, yesterday was a pretty good day in court. I thought.
Good morning, Will. Listen, time out, Will. Good morning, my
What?
friend. I'm glad you made it home safe. And thank you.
Yep,
And
yep.
again, Will, thank you for coming to Massachusetts. Thank you for being in the buffer zone with us and seeing what we got to deal with. And
Like spastic.
nothing can. Again, how do you explain the paddy wagons, Will? Like.
It was like they were getting ready for like the state house.
Mike, I
protest
told you
or
this,
something.
and they got like they know the Bearcat, like the little Humvee they got, the armored
Yeah.
Humvee they have with the guys that ride.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
got one of them waiting out somewhere for us. I'm like riot gear and everything. I'm sure of it. High alert.
It's a money grab, dude.
Oh, it's
It's
horrible.
fucking money. It's a money grab.
So bad, Mike. And
Imagine
you look
being
in
like
there, and the cops are just like, duh.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, nice. I'm sure they love you. There you go. That's the best feeling in the world, isn't it, Mike?
Yeah.
You don't go anywhere without your dogs anyway, but
No,
when-
my
when they
dogs
do,
travel.
yeah,
They travel. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
but that is a
I
good
can't-
feeling to come back and see them.
I've tried to travel without my animals.
Oh,
It's just not the same for me.
No.
I just can't.
Always-
feel like- yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
You go to let them out, you're in the hotel, you're like, oh,
I would do. I would take them out in the hotel. I'd be going on there, whatever. We go down those city sidewalks, wherever I'm at. I just do it, man. And it's just like such a therapeutic animal for me. Like just the love, unconditional love kind of thing is just kind of cool about dogs. And I don't have a cat. I was a cat person for a while, way back when, but not so much anymore.
really?
Yeah, I had
Cats are great, man. They'll come over, they'll give you love, and then they'll leave you alone.
I had
Trust
two
me, you
cats.
can't-
I had
Okay.
two cats, and they were both gray. So I named them Gray, Grey, and Gray, Gray and
Oh,
Gray.
all right.
And I was in Quincy at the time, and one got shot by a neighbor going into his truck.
What?
Yeah, BB gun guy. Yeah, got it.
Why would he do that?
Because he thought it was a raccoon. I didn't blame him. I'm like, what am I gonna do? What are you gonna do? The cat, it was an outdoor cat. It was in Quincy, right? It's going through the. It's like
Still not
it's
right.
it's a hood cat. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So I was like, shit. What are you gonna do? So Gray went down, took him shots, took a shot to the side. It was horrible. But so anyways,
So I'm looking at something here, Mike,
yeah.
and I want to share it. But I want to make sure that like Helene is watching, because you know they're watching, like everyone at the station. Good morning, Canton Police Department. Good morning, everybody. Peace out, my guys. I have a question.
Yeah, if you haven't checked out Mass Accountability, he has got a hard on for Canton right now. He's got a hard on for Canton.
As he should. As we should. That guy needs all the support we can give them. Really. He's got
almost 100,000 subs. He's got 93,000 people.
And he does, Mike, the way he goes, it is, we all understand it. We all can put ourselves in his shoes, and he's the one we're like living through almost. You know?
Well, the other thing too is he understands the law and what he cannot do.
I get anxiety watching the poor guy going in. Really, I'm like, I'm just waiting for something, right?
I'm telling you, man.
But yeah,
he was saying that Sean Good doesn't look too good in terms, like he doesn't look good, like healthy health wise.
None of them are looking good. Do you know why? I may know why, Mike. Nope, I know why. Because Canton Police Department. Can you guys see what that says? What's that say?
Fed probe fight still in play. Yeah. I just sent that to you. You just get that? Yeah. Well, you can't really see it about this Turtle Boy in the first paragraph and and Turtle Boy and.
Dude, can you imagine if Hank put him on the stand? Like, why would you do that?
He would never do that. That would be absolute suicide. It would be bad.
I can't fathom what Aiden would do to him, and how just the answers he could give him. Oh my God, Mike!
He would open
mistrial. You're telling the truth. Get out of here. Like he would just.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that Auntie Bev saw the sequestration order.
But how much time and money has? We knew this was never going to happen.
Well, yeah, he had to pay for Bradle to show up
in an hour.
I know.
Get here in an hour.
That's 1,500. Just to get up out of, take a shower and go to work. That's busy, man. You want a Bradle lawyer, his caliber,
not fair.
To show up within an hour is fucking juice, man. Is that juice? And thank you for all the attorneys that are involved with this stuff. This is like phenomenal. We're getting a lesson in law and how a court should be run,
and our own personal freedoms we're learning about, right?
Yeah.
Fourth Amendment.
But you know what? Like the First Amendment. Like I was a big First Amendment guy, and I just can't get over how easily one person with a gavel can take it away. Just take it away from you. The right to assemble.
We're witnessing it, Mike. Yeah. It's there. She's got that power to say what doesn't happen within a box.
Right.
She put a box. This is my box.
I think Flipper had put like 5 or 6 or 7 trials that were huge in the country over the last 15 years. None of them had buffer zones. None of them. Menendez, OJ, whatever.
If this gets big, like I think we had a lot of media last year. Can you see how if they don't have a press pass in Massachusetts, they can't get in?
No. Nope.
Think about that. Fox News, CNN, you're not coming in. You're not going to broadcast live. No.
No, not from
get that truck out of here.
No, those guys are like they have press passes that are like get them in.
Some of them don't.
They can't get in the White House anymore.
They just work there, but I think I should go to Washington. I think I should go to Washington D.C. right and see if I can get into Washington D.C.
You probably would. Trump wants YouTubers. I'm telling you, he wants.
It's an 8-hour drive. Who's in?
No, why did you just do it online, dude?
No, I want to go to the White House and go to the press briefing.
Oh. Well, I thought you wanted
to in. No, I want to go inside. Like I think they can give you a temporary one to get in for the day. You gotta do background checks and stuff.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's a little different level there.
Yeah,
that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
But he I think Trump understands how. With this, I think maybe Barron Trump is in his ear going, "Hey, Papa,
he's got
Papa,
Daddy, check this out."
YouTube is kind of where. When don't we buy it? You want to control the media? Let's buy YouTube.
Anyone got a connection to Barron? Let me know.
They're saying, dude, he might be a president eventually.
You don't think he's gonna do? Of course he will.
I don't know if I know nothing about him. I don't know enough about him to be like, I don't know anything about
He'll
him.
go in the military. He'll have a stellar career. He'll do great, right?
Yeah.
And so he's smart cookie. So he'll be like an intelligence officer or something like that. He'll do his time in there. He'll get out, run for senator, maybe state senator somewhere, and then boom.
You're gonna be 35 years old.
Yeah, gives
when
him
was
some time.
When was the last time we had a young president? It was Kennedy.
Yeah,
Kennedy.
he was what? He was 40s, right?
Yeah, his 40s.
Yeah.
We haven't had a young, all of them in their 60s. We haven't had a young president, man.
Yeah,
Haven't
now
had
that you
one.
say that, that's pretty smart. Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah. Yep. And it makes a difference because you handle like of the Cuban crisis,
Missile crisis.
he handled a lot. He handled a lot of shit, dude. He handled a lot of shit. And then as soon as he was taken out, then we all started going to Vietnam.
Now, and the war machine cranked up, and a lot of people made money.
Yep.
Right? About money.
Yep.
Money.
Yep. So it's interesting. A big shout out to Kelly, our mod today, man. Thanks for everything yesterday. Thanks for
crushed
setting
it.
everything up. Yeah.
I don't think anyone could have done a better job.
Yeah, and no one really knows her story. We do, though.
My God, yeah.
So we much
Talk
appreciate
about having your hands full. My God.
Right. We don't need to get into it, but thank you.
We appreciate her very much.
All right, so listen, Nan's on the phone till 9:30ish.
That's cool.
Whatever.
No rush, not a big deal. We're not
If
going
anybody's
anywhere.
got any questions for Nan coming up,
Yeah, we're gonna have Nan.
just get them ready if you have them. You don't have to put them in the chat or anything. But
Well, put them in the chat, right? And I think I can star them.
put QQQ on them, all right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So no court
Tuesday,
today, tomorrow, or Monday.
correct. Easter
What's
Bunny's
tomorrow?
coming.
It's tomorrow. Tomorrow's Good Friday.
Tomorrow's Good Friday.
Then Monday's Marathon Monday.
Marathon Monday. And that's only a holiday in Massachusetts, right?
That's right. That's right, Thomas.
That's an
That's
interesting
right.
one. That's Bunker Hill Day? No.
Yeah, I think it's only in Mass. Yeah. We have all, trust me, if you work for the state of Mass, you get some awesome holidays. Kind of jealous. If you're a teacher, man, good for you.
So
What's
I
up?
haven't heard anything, Mike, about the cancer cases at Brigham and Women's. There.
Oh, can I just stop you real quick?
Yeah.
This is upsetting. We were talking about the Pappas Hospital.
Yeah.
Guess what? There was a meeting yesterday in Canton.
You don't say.
No. See, I didn't know anything about it, Tom. Right? It was at I forget. It was a church or a Jewish hall right around the corner. And
Okay.
Galvin was there.
Yeah.
Canton TV was there, and a lot of people in wheelchairs, which tells me a lot of students went there. A lot of people live there. So I don't know the outcome of it. I don't know what happened. I will let you know if I can, or I'll try to get you a link.
So the state came to Pappas Hospital.
Yeah. No, they came to a church.
Oh, well,
to
they
have a
came
meeting.
right. They have a meeting, right? Why would the state have a meeting with them?
I just think because of maybe ramps to get in there, because a lot of kids.
No. What was the purpose? What's the state trying to do here? Are they
Right.
closing
I
it
don't know.
down? Are they giving this? Is this the warm welcome that they're giving away? You're gonna
That's
do
what I'm
something good,
right? Because we're not paying attention. It's going under the radar. It's not in the Herald. It's kind of so that's my sus, and I'm just like, shit.
And
So I don't know if everybody knows.
If I had known and I had been there, I could have streamed it.
No one knew, dude. No one knew. That's why we need a connection inside the Pappas Hospital to give us updates about what's going down. We need to reach out to. Maybe they have a media person for that, or would that be the state? Because the state
Probably the state, most likely
Son of
the
a bitches.
state. PAPPAS. Let's see what comes up here. Nope, don't want that. All right.
Again, I've never seen so much fuss over ACA in my life about who these people are. I think
Why, Mike? Why would they fight that? I'm
I know.
confused about that.
because they know it's the dagger. They know it's the dagger, and you're giving them 2 bites at the apple now, so they can actually just crank it down a little bit and get it through their heads, people's heads, about what
Do you think?
flying through the air takes and what it doesn't take, and how it's almost impossible to do what they did.
Anyone know what Sue Harrington said about the meeting with the state yesterday?
So yesterday was Wednesday, right? So we didn't have a. Yeah, on Tuesday. So we're trying to find out. So someone just said, Equestrian just said it was going to be temporary. These poor kids, man. Imagine that's like having
Not knowing, dude. Not knowing, like this is the only. This is their home.
Yeah,
Imagine
right.
saying, "Where am I gonna go?" You know, especially in a wheelchair, kind of puts them in a box.
But the whole family, everybody. It's like, and then you want to move them to Western Mass. I mean, it's far, but it's not that far. But still, they have a solution. But what are you going to put there? Is the other part of the equation. What do you?
And what's behind
what
this?
are you gonna do?
Why do you need to listen? Why do you need to do this?
Right.
Why?
You're spending so much money in other places within the state. You can't find a way to pencil in a couple of $1 million a year. Are you kidding me? You kidding me? For these people that need it the most,
But listen, I gotta say, it is a nice piece of property, Mike. It looks nice. I gotta tell you, it looks nice.
So yeah, you're acting like a builder. I know it is nice, and they deserve to have some niceness in their life because most of them can't walk.
Oh, I'm thinking high-end condos.
Yeah, we don't. You get me. You don't live it. You get me going. I just these kids.
I know.
They didn't choose to be this way.
Exactly. They are so powerless over the situation, Mike.
Right, and here they are being told you might not, you might. We don't know. Wow, Jesus!
Oh, I'm glad
Christ.
Cherry's here. The day's complete. Cherry, I love you, sweetie. I'm glad she's here.
What shit are we talking today?
Yeah.
Hey, like Belichick says, we're moving on to next week. Moving on to next week.
On to Cincinnati. Remember that whole thing?
Yeah, I love it, man.
Yeah.
So, hey, have you been watching him down in North Carolina with his girlfriend?
Yeah, I saw us, Mike.
What's up? What's up with that?
I'm not answering that question.
He's a dog.
Love him. How can he do that?
What do they talk about?
They don't. I'm pretty sure, Mike. I saw that and I'm like, no. I think it's like his niece or something.
Is he like? I don't know. It blows my mind. But you know what? He's a great coach. He's done nothing wrong. It's just I just find it so anti Bill Belichick style. Just not like what he would normally do.
He's got something, man. I don't know what it is, but
he must be hung like a water buffalo or something.
I was gonna say he's got something. I don't know what it is. I don't. But he got something.
Did anybody catch Auntie Deb with Olivia Lambeau last night? If you haven't checked out Auntie Deb's interview with Olivia Lambeau last night, I think he's becoming a matchmaker on the show. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, I'm not going to ruin it for you, but it was epic. I don't know. Yeah,
you see that? Whoa! You see this, Mike?
24-year-old girlfriend Jordan Hudson. I don't know, man.
Well, wait a minute. Watch what she does, man.
I've seen it. Yeah,
crazy. Check this out.
She's younger than Belichick's son. It's just weird. It's weird. Yeah, Auntie Deb is
around,
dude. I'm telling you, check out Auntie Deb after this or whatever. Put it on replay because you had Olivia. You had Turtle Boy Monday or Tuesday, Olivia last night, and you get Flip Ahead tomorrow night. Flip Ahead is going to be on Auntie Deb tomorrow night.
That'd be fun. Oh yeah,
that's gonna be funny because Flip Ahead's he's good with the one comebacks. So Auntie better be on his game.
I think Auntie Deb's going to be able to pull stuff out of Flip Ahead that we wouldn't naturally ask him or post. Like we're going to find some stuff about him. I think.
I hope so. I think it'd
find out what makes him tick.
I think
I think it's not. I think it's a Rolex, not a Timex.
Both are here. Olivia and shit, they're in the chat.
Oh no.
Oh fuck. I
Uh-oh.
think I saw the end last night. Just so you guys know, I know what's going on. You two fucking crazy ass people. I think Auntie came up with a great idea. Like she's interviewing content creators, great writers, law tubers, whoever. I think it's fucking brilliant. It's just like a whole other side of like not just talking about the retreat case, but you're talking about people's personal stuff, and it's like the breath of fresh air sometimes.
And again, you need the humor, right, Mike?
Oh yeah.
If you can't laugh at yourself, you can't laugh at anybody.
Oh, I laugh at myself every day, but I just think I think he came up with a great idea. I love the fact that he did this, and he's got everybody on there. Betterow was on there. He had Mark Betterow on Sunday last week. I mean, Mark Betterow, trying to get him laugh. I'm sure he laughed. So it's good stuff.
Take a guess at how many days it's been since Enrique got murdered.
I couldn't tell you, Tom. 900? I don't know. Not 9. No, give me 9. I'm talking about. I don't know how many. A couple hundred.
216 days.
Nothing still, huh?
0. 261 days without a freaking answer.
And then yesterday they had a moment of silence for the trooper that was hit by the car that died 2 years later after he got hit. God bless. But here's a kid that has his whole life in front of him,
I'm glad you brought that up. Thank God. I got a message, and I really want to show you. Let me find it. Give me a second here.
Listen, if I wasn't gay, man, and not married, I'd be all over Auntie Deb. Yeah, what the fuck, dude? That's funny fucking shit. I'm sure he's gonna watch this on replay and be like, "What's up? Hunting you down. Be careful. Be careful what you wish for. It might come true."
I'm trying to find it, Mike.
What?
The message. Where is it? Maybe I sent it to myself. I think I did.
Tom, it sounds like a personal problem, bro.
No, it's pretty crazy. Is this it? Thank you. Got it. Thank you. Love you. Hold on, let me forward this. This is something, Mike.
Tom's all excited today on a Thursday.
Yeah. A lot. Because again, now how many days since Enrique?
216 or 261? Yeah.
Imagine being the family.
Imagine.
Check this one out.
I couldn't.
This is interesting. See this?
Wow.
Mike. Your car, your vehicle, Mike, is just as fast as the police cruisers that they're driving around on the road. Yours is probably a little better handling and a little bit better acceleration and probably a little better braking. But for overall, I'd say they're a match.
Okay. This is just recently?
April 14th.
Are you shitting me?
Aggie Menendez, 86. She's 86-year-old Brookline resident with deep ties in the community. She died on April 5th. The passing of Menendez, who relatives say was a loving matriarch and caregiver, with a strong sense of civic duty came nearly 3 months after she was struck and seriously injured by a Massachusetts State Police cruiser in a crosswalk on Boylston Street in Chestnut Hill.
Holy shit.
Mike,
What the fuck, man?
how fast you go on Boylston Street? I know Chestnut Hill. How fast can you go on that street?
Is that Route 9 though, dude? Is that the same street? I think it is. I think it's like 45. But here's the thing right there.
Is that the double lane? Where double lanes there?
Yeah. Right near the Chestnut Hill Plaza or whatever it might be. Right where Justin was. Read that last paragraph right there. I felt swept under the rug. Swept under the rug.
Members of the family say they still feel in the dark about the crash, and they're frustrated by a lack of communication and accountability from the investigating law enforcement agencies. It felt swept under the rug and overlooked by the police, said Brian Menendez, Rainey, one of Menendez's grandchildren. Her death is being investigated by
oh my gosh.
State police officers assigned to the Norfolk County District Attorney's Office, as well as the Office of the State Chief's Medical Examiner. According to David Linton, a spokesperson for the DA's office, both the state police and the DA's office declined to comment on any details of the investigation. While Linton said the cause of the Menendez crash remains under investigation, members of the Menendez family say that she died from serious injuries caused by the collision. They also believe that the seriousness of the crash was downplayed by police. A spokesperson for the state police told news outlets, at the time the cruiser was struck, Menendez was traveling at a very low speed as it responded to another motor vehicle collision. The terminology used was very vague and passive, said Sabrina Perez, another of her grandchildren. Her grandchildren say they have not yet received any police reports from the state police, but they have pieced together is what Menendez, who lived in Brookline Village, was running errands in Chestnut Hill on the afternoon of January 15th. She was crossing Boylston Street at the intersection with Hammond Street when she was struck by a state police cruiser, which was turning right from Hammond Street onto the westbound side of Boylston Street.
Wow.
I don't know. I think that might be.
We'll have to look at
yeah,
that.
we'll Google that one.
Yeah.
State police said in a previous statement to news outlets that the cruiser was responding to a call, but Rainey and Prey say they were not told that the vehicle had its lights or sirens on.
Oh no. Oh no.
Menendez's injuries were serious. She struck her head on the pavement and suffered a subdural hematoma or brain bleed, according to Praise. She was taken to Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center, where she had emergency surgery to relieve the pressure in her skull, and a portion of which was removed. She also suffered broken ribs and her ankle was shattered. She celebrated her 86th birthday in the intensive care unit in January, according to the GoFundMe published by the family, where she was surrounded by loved ones but unable to blow out her candles. On April 5th, she succumbed to her brain injury. State police denied public records requests from Brookline News filed January 29th, seeking reports, investigative records, and camera footage from the crash. Rachel Audley, who works in the state police legal counsel's office, said in an email at Brookline News on April 11th that the agency is not releasing the records because the investigation is still going.
Holy shit.
Yeah. So
that's fucking horrible. See, we don't even know. We don't even know. Another Norfolk County DA
state
office.
Police, yeah, we'll take care of it.
They got to take care of the trooper. That's what they're going to do. Bullshit, Tom. That's what a good find, man. See, do nothing about that.
That poor lady's not here no more.
Oh,
She's just crossing the street. You hear about that, anybody?
can we get
Anybody?
Can we get in touch with that family? Can we?
I don't even. I'd be afraid to even contact them. That's the matriarch. That's like losing two dogs at once. How do you fathom that?
Yeah, it's tough. But
It-
I would love for him to, if they want a platform to, to talk about it, I'd be willing to do something like that for him. I mean, I know it's not a lot, but
Yeah, I'd be more than happy to talk to them. But again, right?
because it's Norfolk, it's Brookline,
And
how
they
much
just
more are we gonna? How much?
they
more
don't
are we
even
gonna-
they don't tell you what happened, Mike. It's not like, hey, listen,
know.
there was an accident. We're responding to a call, and I mean, Mike, accidents happen, right? I don't think he did it intentionally. Going to a
Was it-
call happens. It happens.
Oh God.
But the them not being upfront about it is what's really kind of wrong.
What was that Brookline News you had up there?
Yes. And let me pull it. Let's check the GoFundMe. I don't want to cry, but let's check it.
Wow.
Yeah, it's just
Wow.
again, right? How do you fathom this?
I don't, man. Brookline. Was it called News? Oh, News.
Blah, 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 blah. Where'd it go?
38 grand raised so far.
Yeah, 3805.
What was her name? Sabrina? What? No, that's Sabrina. That's not her. What's her name again?
Margie. Margie.
Margie Menendez.
Yeah, Menendez. Yeah.
Wow.
It's the same things that we just read.
Oh, she's on the top of the searches, man. Yeah. BrooklineNews.com.
Nothing.
Well,
Right?
the Globe had it on January. I don't know that the Globe had it on there, but that doesn't mean anything.
Well, wait, what did the Globe say when it happened? That's the thing, right? Did they even report half the facts?
Well, so it was Route 9, like we talked about.
Yep.
It looks like it was right near Justin's final destination.
And that there's that like almost
She's
a
going into Star Market.
yeah.
Wow.
Oh, really, Mike?
Yeah. Oh, wow.
I'm very, very sorry for your loss.
Wow.
I'm sorry that this happened.
Right, man.
Wow.
Well, we can make some noise.
If any of the Menendez would like to come on and talk about it, I'll be more than happy to send them a link. Send me an email, cputom@gmail, and I'll get your link. cputom@gmail.
I'm posting the article right now, guys, on my X. If you want to read it, there you go.
Listen, I'm all for doing an investigation, Mike, right? But you can't leave these people out of the equation. You're there to serve these people, not serve yourself. Look at what they did to Justin, right? They're serving themselves.
Yeah, self-serving. Yeah, it's
the guy shot him with someone else's gun.
I know.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, listen, it's semantics.
Let me see if I get Howie on the phone. This is right up Howie's. This is right up Howie's alley right here.
Cherry, I think I figured it out.
So you just go. You need to talk to someone. Well, okay.
She wants me to get on Discord, and that's the whole thing. Let me check the email real quick. Yeah, I mean, but again, right? That's
horrible.
It's sad that we even have to bring it up, right?
It is, dude. That's.
And like Mike, I get it. Accidents happen. I get it, right? I totally get it. But if that's the case, be upfront and honest with these poor people, right?
Oh yeah,
yeah. I don't get how they can just ignore this. January 5th. February. January is a whole month. February, March, April. 1, 2, 3, 4 months, Mike. 4 months. And you know what? Because she didn't pass right away, they let it ride.
Right. Hey, Auntie Deb's in the chat and she wants a wrench.
Why do you want a wrench? Why do you want work?
Jay, listen,
I don't get like.
They love that. She's a gay ass bitch. I don't know, dude. He wants a wrench though.
No, he said no.
Okay.
Like that gets me. Why do you guys want wrenches? Like it means you got to do work. Who's okay? Sure. Like, oh my goodness. Yeah. So,
hey,
so
good morning, Auntie. I don't, Tom. Oh my fucking god! Don't do it. Okay. Hey, good interview last night with Olivia. By the way, that was funny.
Mike, always good interviews because he's true. He's real. Like he tell you how it is.
Oh, Flip wants to give her the wrench. Oh, sorry about that.
Um,
That's it. I'm going to resistance. Stop it.
January 5th.
Flip's in here. I said, give him one. Oh, you're just getting ready for tomorrow night, huh? You guys are getting ready. Auntie, you better be careful, man. He might flip the script on you. You be careful, Flip, man. He might flip that script on you. You might be answering questions.
Maggie.
Oh my goodness. I'm moving on to Thursday, Flip. I'm moving on to I'll time everybody. I don't even know what this. I don't even know what a wrench does. People love them. I don't know. Oh god.
All right, so I have Enrique on the board at 216 days and Maggi at 102 days. With no answers, Mike. What type of investigation takes 102 days when it was in traffic and it was like basic? I don't understand what type of investigation needs to be done. But you know who could probably answer that question? I know who can answer that.
Who?
This one.
Oh.
Good morning.
Good
You-
morning.
You look good in red. Red's your
It's
color.
not- Oh,
Pop.
is it?
Oh yeah.
Pop.
Just
It's my favorite color. It's my favorite color.
really?
Yeah.
Wow, that looks good.
Yeah.
Wow.
Thank you. Good
How you
morning.
been, man?
morning.
How about I'm still tired. Every time I come up there, it takes me like 3 to 4 days to declench and get my rest, but I'm doing well.
So, all right, off the cuff, you've been around the country, I'm sure, seeing different trials in different types of media, right? How does Karen Reed's trial stack up amongst everything else? And I know you kind of can't, but you have to put like a gauge on it. From what you've seen,
Oh,
In terms of bullshit or media coverage?
both the entire picture, the bullshit inside the courtroom and the bullshit outside, and the like. The judge controls the square block.
Oh, I'm glitching. I apologize.
Okay.
Damn it.
How can a judge control a square inside that square?
It's like communist China. I mean, I don't know how to. That's why I'm wearing red, to as an homage to communist China. The amount of judicial overreach in Norfolk County is really frightening to me. I don't, I stood. I only went on one side of the buffer zone. I did not go on the church
Buffer
side of
zone.
the buffer zone. But it is far. And I've heard people say, it's not that far, but it is
No.
far. Karen's deprived of all of the ability to see her supporters and just gather that psychic income that anyone needs going into court. So the fact that it's like a ghost town. And I'll give you my perspective because I went to court. I was very lucky enough to be asked to go to court on, major glitch. Sorry, guys, I might have to reboot.
No problem.
But I was asked to go into court on Monday. Was it Monday? Yeah, it was Monday. And when I went into court, I panicked for a moment because I'm like, I guess I'm parking behind the registry of deeds. And I obviously wasn't wearing pink, but I was like, I guess I'm just going to be a lawyer walking across the street to go into the courthouse. And I literally started to sweat. I'm like, am I going to get stopped and asked for credentials? And wow, that's really bad glitching. But anyway, it's better than the workers outside of my mansion, Mike, right?
Yeah.
There's no
Working on the other side of it today.
But anyway, I didn't get stopped and I walked right across the street. But, I'm only imagining what's going to happen next week where there's hundreds of people standing around. The police are going to have their hands full. They're going to make a complete example out of somebody. So if I can encourage anybody to just try to just keep it in line, don't be that example. Just don't, because Karen and her family, they don't need that. They don't need that type of attention. And
Right.
they know you're there. I do know that. They feel it. But so as far as the environment, it really feels otherworldly and not what America's all about. But from a media standpoint, there should be more media standing around and asking questions, and maybe they will be. I only saw a glimpse during pretrial motions last month, and then a few days ago with jury selection. So it's not an exciting time for media. But as far as what's being broadcast, there is definitely a shift. There is a shift in terms of who's paying attention to this case and how much they're willing to stick their necks out. So, welcome to the fucking party as far as
Yeah.
I'm concerned, because
About time. You're a little late, but welcome.
yeah. And I mean, I get a lot of, I guess I won't call it criticism. I get a lot of flack from some people saying, "Oh, well, where have you been? And you're new to this. You don't know." But I had been a spectator since 2022, and most notably 2023.
Yeah.
I had actually reached out to Aiden yesterday and just dropped him a message saying they were talking about the Karen Reed case on the Boomer and Geo show, which is, for sports fans, like, that's the most popular sports radio show on WFAN in the New York area. And even they were talking about it, and they were talking about Aiden. And it was pretty neutral. I mean, if it matters, Geo was like, this is, I don't want to quote him, but he didn't think that there was anything for Karen to worry about here. But, more and more news organizations, radio programs, mass accountability, they're all kind of coming out and speaking up on this. And I'm all for it, because the more attention, whether it is positive for Karen or neutral in terms of the hackorama, I'm all for it. So people can start really looking at whether they would want to be prosecuted or persecuted on this type of evidence. It's like coming to a different planet whenever I go there. And I'm already planning my next 2 trips.
Nice. All right.
Yeah.
So everything that we see as being wrong with this whole case, you also see it. So we're not all out there, right? The whole case is out there, and we're trying to bring it back, right?
Yeah, you guys are not all wrong. And I'm sure Bettero continues to, and previously provided that level of comfort, and Melanie Little, attorneys who've kind of spoken up saying this isn't the way it works. I'm just one additional voice saying you guys aren't losing your minds, because with all of the gaslighting, you kind of have to say, well, I'm not a lawyer. Is this the way it's supposed to happen? And then when I was watching the motions yesterday, I was watching them on your program. I'm going, why are we still arguing about ARCA? Or I got to still work on my Massachusetts accent. ACA. Why? Wow, guys, like, you got to put up a poll. If the glitching is that bad, like, seriously, tell me.
I think people can deal with the glitching with you.
Yeah, we're fine. Yeah,
we're good.
Yeah, I guess once I earn enough money, because I spend it all donating,
there you go.
I will set up a new system. And I was talking to, or I don't know if I was talking or messaging with the Glare a couple weeks ago, and I told him I had a PC, and he's like, "You don't have a Mac?" And I was like, "No, I don't have a Mac." And there was a little air of judgment in that text.
I'm with you, Nan. I'm not a Mac guy. You're either one of the no. I've touched them for a long time.
And I don't really care so much. I am a PC person, which is probably more conducive to my law practice, but I don't care about, if I get a Mac for streaming, if that improves the viewing experience for people. Because I'm like a free agent now, guys. Like anyone wants my input during this trial, you just throw out a lasso and come scoop me up.
So
Wow.
as it went last year, right? Is the day the trial would go on, and then at night, Bedro would go on Mike Crawford show, and they would talk about the day's events, we'll say.
Right.
So, I mean, you're more than welcome to come on here and chit chat with us. I mean, it's gonna get good. I gotta, and people, I wish I could. There's a lot I want to say and a lot I cannot say. So I'm trying to work around this one.
But I know this.
Things are gonna hopefully things are gonna change, and if they change, you guys in the chat and that are watching are gonna be blown away.
Yeah,
stay tuned.
Teaser.
Yeah, you know what it is, man. You know.
Yeah, no.
Let's just say I before I went out with James Jackson and JFK the other night, I did a little bit of work.
How was that? How was that dinner? How was it? Good.
I had such a great time. I really did. Yes, because I had met James before, and briefly, just to maybe for a total of an hour last month, and he had reached out when he had heard I was up, and he said, "Do you want to go out with us?" And I was like, "Yes."
Yeah.
And yeah. So, and it was like after freezing with boots on the ground, the day before, which I'm still cold from it, and it was cold and windy. But that night, I guess it was Monday, it was like 60 degrees on the north end, and JFK's wearing like a t-shirt. He was wearing like a short dress shirt or something. But they both looked so handsome, and they were so friendly and so chivalrous. They were opening doors for me.
That was probably James.
Yeah, and we went to a really delicious Italian restaurant, and then they gave me the dime tour. So
you have cappuccino?
Did I have a cappuccino? No, because if I drink
next time,
I do not trust anything decaf. Like if someone tells me it's decaf, I won't drink it, and I can't drink caffeine at that hour unless it's like in a soda. But no, I ended up having I did end up having a Cosmopolitan in a tumbler glass that was purchased by James Jackson.
Nice.
But we toured like a church property.
Yep.
We swung
all around the north end. Yep. Yeah. What do you think? What do you think of the history here? Isn't it something?
I love it. I love Boston to begin with. I come up about 2 times a year for business for the last 20 years. And I have to say, I'm definitely, well, let's just say the Nan Gallagher Law Group is in plans to expand to a different additional city.
Not that there's any work in this area because it's kind of like dry around here, but
I've always I can just simply say, Boston has a special place in my heart. It always has. And now the people they're in there. You guys are in my heart, and I don't want to be far away from you anymore.
Oh man, that's nice.
So you've seen pretty much like the east side, which is Massachusetts. You don't want to go Western Mass, okay? Shelby lives out there. You don't want to go Western Mass.
Okay.
The Berkshires are nice.
No, they're beautiful. The we have mountains that you would just
James Taylor. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. There's still a lot that you would just. It's the other stuff that makes it just as good. Wow.
Well, I plan to come up at least 2 more times during the trial. I try not to announce before I do, but there are some people who I was just unable to see, and people who tried to make kind of tentative plans with me. And if any of them are watching, I'm so sorry that I had to drop you like a bad habit to go out with JFK and James the other night. But I am going to hopefully see a bunch of different groups of individuals when I come up maybe later this month and definitely in May.
Wow.
Maybe
Breaking
again in
news.
June, because I think this trial is going to be going on in June.
Oh, yeah.
Springfield's nice, by the way. You got to go check out Springfield.
I have
What?
been to Springfield.
Yeah.
One of my clients is from Springfield.
There
So
you go.
Okay.
What else? Yeah, I have a question. Nan, how
Yeah.
come, no, I get, but how come we're not hearing more about these nurses that from the hospital? Why is this like, is it, they putting a cap on it? Is that what they're doing?
I'll tell you a few things. One, I am hearing a lot from the nurses.
Okay.
I would love,
Okay.
well, we want that. That's a great thing. They all should talk to you. I would love to talk to them if they're allowed to
I'm working
publicly
on that.
come out and, all right.
I'm
But I'm
working
more
on
than-
that for you.
More than happy to help them with that, whatever they need, because I just can't envision going to work and ending up having it hurt you like that. That's tragedy.
Well, and I want to say when I say I'm speaking with them, it's not to represent them. I'm not an ambulance chaser.
Doesn't matter.
Well,
You want
you know
you
the-
want your smarts to them. That we know that that's what's going to happen. So
Several of these nurses are Free Karen Reed and Free Turtle Boy supporters. And it just happened that they knew of me and reached out to me based on healthcare law experience. So, but one of the essential reasons that I was communicating with them is because I am what's called a certified OSHA analyst. I got a certification in approximately 2017. So one of the responsibilities I have with that certification is I can go on to facility premises where they receive federal funds, which any hospital does. They receive funds from what's called the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, also known as CMS.
So
and I can go in and
that gives you permission in that CMS, that in that document, or that gives you permission. All right, so go ahead.
So I, as an OSHA analyst, I can go on to any premises that receives federal funds because OSHA is a federal agency, and I can conduct on notice to the facility. I can't ambush them. I can conduct inspections for safety. So I had given a few of the nurses, and some of them have an attorney already, some guidance on what they can look into and what has not. I know what hasn't been looked into already. And I can tell you, Tom, that if you think back to what you were intimating about, I think it was yesterday or the day before, your instincts are correct. So
Wow.
we can talk offline, but
Yeah,
there's no reason why this many nurses can develop benign either glioblastomas or other benign tumors from them. They all work in such close proximity. There's no coincidence here. So, most importantly is to make sure that they receive the care and treatment that they need.
Absolutely. Yep.
And what gets lost from my perspective, what gets lost in all of this is when people start hearing, oh, okay, they're benign tumors. Yeah, that's fine. Benign tumors, many of them are resistant to medication to shrink them, which means if in some instances, depending on where the tumors develop, you may need to have surgical interventions, other mental functions of the brain and abilities like personality, temperament, decision-making, judgment, all of these things can be impaired just by a benign tumor. One of the individuals actually has a benign tumor that, as was described to me, and I certainly didn't review her medical records, is starting to infringe on her optic nerve, which means she's going to have vision impairment.
Yep.
So,
and that doesn't get better. And they can't shrink it. That's bad.
Yeah. And if it grows, so she can't work there anymore, which is good because in my layman's opinion, I'm not a doctor, is that, if there's clearly some type of causal connection between the facility and that particular department or floor and the health crisis, then she shouldn't be working there, nor should any of the other nurses. But if that benign tumor continues to grow, she risks partial or complete blindness in that eye. And this is a young woman. So I take this issue and this public health crisis, even though it's limited to a smaller subset of the public, I take it so seriously. And I would encourage anybody who has knowledge about it and is affiliated with or related to or are these nurses to feel free to come communicate with me. I can help give you and your attorney some guidance on what to look into. But one of the things that I plan when I come up again is to go there on notice to the facility.
Oh, okay.
And I also just wanted to commend Seeking Justice because with you focusing on this very important issue, which has nothing to do with Karen Read other than many of the nurses support Karen Read and are anti-corruption. By focusing on this issue, it just shows me the tremendous versatility and bandwidth that you, Tommy, and you, Mike, have to really focus on matters of public importance and to be brave and courageous to face them head on and to not be afraid to ask the important questions. And I mean, you're always circling back to this very issue, which means you're not just kind of saying it for a soundbite. You're making it a matter of importance. And that really is something that resonates with me.
Well,
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm flattered, but the best part is, Nan, it's the people that are watching us right now.
Yeah.
They're the ones that sent us down this road, and like I said, how we're able to pivot and be versatile on the fly, right? We can go right back to Karen Read right now.
Yeah.
Or we can go to Enrique.
Yeah, you're
So-
like
so-
Clark Kent in a phone booth. You just change into a different outfit and put your investigative caps on.
I love it. I love
Yeah.
it.
So like the
Oh, it's
nursing
funny.
thing is
I'm looking
issue.
right now. I got a call. I just got a call that came in. I'm looking right now. I just got a call that came in to my law firm from someone at that hospital. How weird is
funny how
that?
that works. Isn't that
That-
Listen, Nan, please pass along if there's anything that me and Mike can do to help out these nurses. We're in.
Thank you.
We're in.
There
because
are
they-
two who are interested in coming on your show. Their attorneys giving them a little bit of guidance as to whether now is the time or maybe in a few weeks. And I understand that.
And me and Mike can work with them with whatever they want to talk about or stay away. We're all good with that. But I'm talking like not publicly. Like if one of these nurses needs like help, me and Mike have the ability to maybe raise a little bit of money for them, or
Oh,
maybe write a letter for them, or whatever it may be. Right? It's that type of thing in the background that they don't just if you notice something like that.
Yeah, and I mean, consider this an open offer if you want to create any type of fundraising to raise funds to help them, even just with investigative costs alone. That those those can really rack up, and it's something that I think often gets misunderstood as it relates to the Karen Read case. Investigative costs alone. And the investigation in her case continues. They're constantly, even Karen said that I think it was her interview with Ted Daniel of Boston 25, where she's like, yeah, we're still investigating. So as far as the nursing issue is concerned, even to help raise funds for investigation, because you can't just walk into a hospital and say, okay, I want to look at this, I want to look at that. They have to do different testing. They have to look at machinery. They've got to look at chemicals and toxins and all of the caustic materials. I think what often gets misunderstood also from an OSHA standpoint in the healthcare sphere, there are so many different caustic materials that are in any hospital, any medical office, like a private medical office for a doctor, for example. These types of facilities, they will use what's called an autoclave to
Sterilize them.
sterilize instrumentation.
I used to fix them.
Yeah, but in addition to it, many facilities still use an element of what's called cold sterilization. So once instruments come out of an autoclave, which is really steam centric, once they do, some instruments will then be placed after they're come out of their packs. They'll be placed in cold sterilization just to maintain their level of sterility, so to speak. And it's the one of the components for cold sterilization post autoclave is a chemical called glutaraldehyde, and glutaraldehyde is extremely toxic. Now, I am not saying that glutaraldehyde is in any way related to the nursing issue. I want to be very clear.
It's just that is a thing. That is
No.
it's a toxic thing.
So I think probably your audience, I'm not looking at your chat and I'm a little bleary-eyed this morning, but they're probably like, oh crap, she's talking about chemicals. I'm going to sleep. But I just want everyone to understand that there's so many different layers that have to be looked at. And then there's the medical treatment that a lot of these nurses are going to have to undergo or possibly have to defray lost income. And I do hope that they sue one day, because ain't no way they're developing this many benign tumors in clusters without a connection. Yeah.
So the people out there that want to know what an autoclave is, it's a sterilizer. And how it was explained to me was everything that is living is cellular based. It has a cell. Go back to chemistry or high school. And if we use these tools right here, these scissors on you to cut you up, take out your gallbladder or whatever we're doing with these tools, right? We're going to put them in the sterilizer. We're going to clean them, put them in the sterilizer. And on these instruments are cells. And when they run the sterilizer, it takes it and it brings it to what they call a different atmosphere. So it's almost like taking it and putting it out past the moon. And there's no gravity, there's no nothing. And what happens is when it does that, it breaks that cell. It pops it like a bubble. And now that cell, that living cell, is a dead cell. And nothing in. So when you get these scissors back, they've been sent, and it's the big chamber that they take all the air out of, like scuba diving and stuff like that. It destroys all the cells that are on this. So anything that's on this is clean 100% when it's all said and done.
Yeah, so everyone should be very happy if their physicians and hospitals are using autoclaves. Not everyone does. The hospitals will, because federal regulation requires it. But
the problem with those is if the facility has dirty steam, it doesn't break all the cells.
Oh, that's right. And also, one of the things that gets often overlooked with autoclaves is that they have to be inspected once a year.
Yep.
Like you were getting your car inspected. In addition to that, you have to spore test them. So there is varying guidance in federal regulations for OSHA and state regulations that'll say you have to spore test monthly or spore test weekly. I fall on the side of spore testing weekly because and like you were talking about dirty steam.
Yeah. It's just a simple shot. You just put it in and let it run.
Simple test. It's kind of like if you've ever been sick and people will say, oh, run a humidifier. Or I heard Mike earlier say he took some allergy medication last night. See, I was listening to you, Mike, even though you weren't ready for me yet, or I wasn't ready for you. I'm always listening to that deep, sultry voice. But the people will sleep with humidifiers to kind of just moisten the air, and those have to be cleaned regularly. And if they're not, they can become a risk.
Yep.
Yeah.
Listen, I'll talk to you offline about that, but I used to do all the PMs you do quarterly on those autoclaves. You have to do them quarterly, and once a year you do them overall. So I used to do the PMs on changing the valves and chasing dirty steam, and been there. So
that sounds like a good name for a rock album, Chasing Dirty Steam. I like that.
There you go.
What the fuck?
I don't know. I always come up with band names and album names. And
I like that. Dirty Steam.
Yeah,
Chasing Dirty Steam.
Sounds like something that happens when you go to the bathroom. But anyway,
it's something.
Dan's getting spicy this morning.
No, man. Yeah. Hey, the glares in the chat. You say if you go into the a tattoo, you don't see an autoclave, leave. Don't get a tattoo.
Yeah, that's
100%. Yep. I believe
That's
that.
true. Oh,
Yep.
speaking of tattoos, I was telling JFK and James the other night that I have one, and they
You got a
spent
tattoo?
yeah, and they
Okay.
spent it was very cute. They spent a long time trying to figure out, like, it was like a guessing game. Like, where is it? I'm like, no, I'm not sharing. It was
Oh,
My goodness. Oh, here we go. Well,
okay.
right there. Okay.
it was funny
Declare-
though because it was
declares like I'm chasing dirty steam right now.
oh jeez.
He's all in, right?
Well, get out of the bathroom.
He's
Uh,
got poop. People are asking if you have a tramp stamp.
Ooh, yeah, I've got a NAM stamp. I do not have a tramp stamp. I actually have a tattoo that was a regret from law school. I was like
Oh,
I got it right before I took the bar exam. I was going through like a lot of stress, very, very stressful time for anyone. And I'm just gonna send a message of hope and good luck to any of the interns working for Karen and her team if they are sitting for the bar exam, presumably this summer. Because it's not fun. And when I was very stressed out, and at the time had a boyfriend, he's like, let's go get you a tattoo. You got to unwind, which
sure.
anyone will probably agree Nan could stand to unwind. But anyway, I got one. And this many years later, it's not looking so good. I've also had some body shape fluctuations and had 2 kids. So over the years, I think it's time to freshen one up. And maybe I'll create a contest. If people want to submit to me like a suggested image for a new tattoo in a non-conspicuous area, because I do go to court regularly.
Covered area.
Yeah, and if I pick a winner, maybe we'll create something out of it, like have a dinner,
wow.
or I'll make a donation to the defense fund, or maybe we'll do something like that.
How about like the outline of Massachusetts? Like
Oh
the
shit! Somebody sent me. I forget who it was. Might have been the woman I bought a bunch of T-shirts from. She sent me one that says like Canton, and it's got like Massachusetts reversed on it, and it
Yep.
has 911 reversed on it. It's a great
Right.
shirt. I should have worn it today. It would have matched my hat because it's
How
gray,
about-
but it has some red.
I would like a QR code somewhere around you, so you can scan my phone and get your information.
Definitely have a QR code. We'll put it right in the shoulder, Nan. We can make them. We can make whatever you want.
You know what I
Right.
love? You know what I love most about that, Mike? Because you
What?
lean into the mic when you say that. Like, I want a QR code.
I was talking to Nan on the phone the other day, and she's
Monday.
like, "Oh my God, your voice!" I'm like, "What?" She's like, "It's so deep." I'm like, "What?"
Yeah. And
Nice.
that was true. Like, I wasn't flirting. You can tell your wife. Like, I just like a deep voice that gets me. Yeah.
All right. Well, you got one.
Yeah. In fact, that's over the last few days, I had run into Brian LTL, and he had intended to whisper something in my ear, but it was like close to my ear and kind of deep voice at the time. And I was like, oh my God. Okay, I'm liking
I got
this too
chills.
much.
I got chills. So, do you want to go over some motions from yesterday?
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. All right. So by the way, I'm winging it. I'm not doing I have some notes, but if anyone
Just-
has any particulars where they're like, "Man, talk about this one," please like highlight it for Tom or Mike, or put something in the chat. So yesterday, by the way, it's very unusual to be arguing this type of ooh, thanks, please pass. But to be arguing this many motions and last minute issues before a trial date, which, as we all know, was possibly going to have started this week. So when we're still arguing about ARCA or ACA, and Hank is like losing his ever loving mind over the fact that he wants emails and communications and anything of the like between the defense and ARCA over the last several months, since the case kind of pivoted from ARCA being retained by the feds and now free game for Karen's defense team. It's really unbelievable. And I had fallen asleep last night but I had caught this morning when I was running. Turtle Boy was kind of commenting on this last night about how Hank was mad. He was big mad. He's big mad over the
Yep.
fact that he's entitled to this information, and he wants to look into whether ARCA said this or that to the defense. Look, most importantly with the ARCA issue, ARCA, I'm projecting like ARCA's they're going to be in. They're in there, and maybe there's been decisions, so I haven't seen all of them. And maybe I've missed one. So everyone give grace, but ARCA will be testifying at trial.
Listen, they were here last trial. How can this even be an option? Like,
Well, the short answer is it normally wouldn't be, because they were at the first trial, and even though it's a new trial, it's called the law of the case. If they were allowed in last time, and for example, Dr. Marie Russell was allowed in last time, then they'd be allowed in now. They were already qualified. Wow, and now I'm glitching again. But in Bev's courtroom, it's where like the laws of law get suspended. The laws of physics do as well, but no one can ever predict. And the classic example is, she said the last go around that only a medical doctor could offer opinions on causation. And now she's like, nah, Crosby can offer this about dog bite wounds. And so there is no predictability that someone like me, I'm sure Bettero or any other legal commentator can say, well, this is how it's supposed to work. We always have to give that kind of disclaimer, because if we don't want to sound like a bunch of fucking idiots.
right.
In our worlds, this isn't what's acceptable. And in our worlds, we're supposed to be able to rely upon the fact that there is the law of the case and things shouldn't be challenged again. So I don't know how to answer that, Tommy, other than to say Bev needs to self-regulate, possibly with some medication, or get her Dr. Wolf courtroom with her so she can chill out, get her blood pressure down.
So
up.
The big thing is, people are asking about the FBI investigation.
Okay, what do we got? If the FBI investigation is over, why can't Hank the Snake? I like to refer, don't take that down 1 second. I like to refer to him as Sank now. Someone called him Sank on Twitter yesterday, and I like Sank because his whole prosecution is Sank. Anyway, why can't Hank the Snake reach out to the same person who told him it was over to get those stupid emails that he wants? You're right. First of all, I am not convinced, and no one's going to convince me the federal investigation is over. For all the reasons I've discussed with you and others, I don't think it's over. And even if it is, they're not going to tell you. And even if it is, they can reopen it very quickly. So
Can I just one quick question? I'll add to that. I believe it's still open just because of the Birchmore trial that's ongoing.
Yes.
With the connection with Canton PD. So there's some sort, whether it's bleeding a lot into the Reed case, but you have 4 or 5 Canton police officers that are involved in the Birchmore case. That was a federal arrest, not even a state level arrest. So it's all in the federal courts. So there has to be some posturing for these, right, for this police department here to get ready for a trial for Farwell, because they were first on the scene. So there's got to be some type of investigation going on. Am I wrong in saying it? Yeah.
I completely agree with you. The fact that the Farwell matter, which I believe is still, it's very quiet. If I've missed things that have come out, but I think it's just quiet, which, I am of the opinion.
Yep.
Farwell might be singing like a canary, but holding my own opinion aside, the fact that that's still pending, it leads me to think there's just no way that the federal investigation, there's so many different parallels between the two cases in terms of the corruption, the district attorney, the investigating officers, the missing or unaccounted for or improperly accounted for text messages like Guarino. The issues are very similar. So I just don't think it's closed. And as far as the federal investigation is concerned, Hank he's had full access to ARCA. This is the very unusual scenario. I don't think I've ever heard of something like this where a federal agency retains an expert or a vendor. I use those words kind of interchangeably. You return it.
That's what they are.
Vendor,
You hire them.
yeah, like so that happens, and then the one of the parties in a criminal prosecution or a civil matter has access to them and can retain them themselves. So
Right.
in a weird way, very weird, it's probably one of the only blessings of the fact that there's a mistrial and a retrial here, because during trial 1.0, Karen's team and her defense itself was constrained in terms of what they could
Bring in.
elicit from
Yeah,
ARCA. Now that the gloves are off, now that there has been a mistrial and a retrial that starts on Tuesday, and now that the defense is free to have retained ARCA to correspond with them now, to communicate, to strategize. In fact, that is one of the things I was doing, Mike, while I was a little late joining you today. I was on the phone with a client and an expert of mine on a case. There's full strategy going on. So Karen's team now has ARCA all to themselves, and they are going to shove their opinions so far down Hanky's throat, it's going to come out of his rear end in his baggy
Wow.
suits. So
Wow.
they really should. That is why everyone keeps saying, why is he getting this upset, or
Yeah.
ARCA really bothers him.
Yeah.
ARCA is his Achilles heel.
Yep. Okay.
And
You can't get around it.
but they're coming in. So if there hasn't been a decision yet, keep an eye on it. And then as far as the federal investigation is concerned, you know, Bev's made it very clear, like no one's going to be mentioning it at all. Okay, I get it, but you know, I understand that it could be prejudicial to either side, really to
Right.
Karen as well. I don't necessarily think I would want a jury knowing that even the feds were looking at my case, because it's one thing to say, yes, there was a federal investigation, even if Bev let that in, it's another thing for her to let in the fact that it closed without any
Findings.
consequence to it.
Yep.
And with people like Ronnie the juror and
Right.
people who speculate as to what their role is as to being a jury, we don't want them to say, well, look, even the feds looked at it and this must be really serious, and they've closed their investigation and maybe they're going to issue findings. See, Karen did it. That sounds like a very Plevin-esque type of argument. Maybe was Plevin on the jury?
Yeah, exactly.
By the way, Plevin, if you're watching right now, Nan Gallagher's opinion, your stupidity, it's actually increasing. It's increasing. I think you've used all of your brain cells to write Storm of Suspicion. But I've noticed two things about you, Plevin. Your stupidity has increased. There's definitely an uptick. Services are available for that. And two, I think you're getting a little bit more aggressive with people who are speaking out on the Free Karen Read movement. You're like literally swatting the hornet's nest. And come for me. Come for me. Okay. I challenged you. I challenged you last week to you don't want to you want to have someone to debate this case other than Broken Baker, who is not born of this country and speaks English as a third language, and you felt that he wasn't giving you the time of day. Come for me. I'll find the platform. Okay.
Wow.
Anyway.
Wow.
I would really like that, because he needs to be taught that there are people that are smart in this world, and you're one of them. He is not. He's not.
Pay-per-view coming up, folks. A pay-per-view showdown coming up.
I
There
would
you
love
go.
that. Well, he pours drinks, or previously poured like a fantastic, was it a Bloody Mary?
Yeah, still, I don't believe that either.
You know what, Plevin, pour me a Bloody Mary. It's one of my favorite drinks. Don't poison it. If I like it,
Oh,
I will go a little bit easier on you when you and I have our showdown. But
I like that's a good deal right there.
yeah, but if you don't give me a good Bloody Mary that's not poisoned, I'm not gonna pull any punches. So I am waiting. Ding ding, let's go. Because when the storm of suspicion is over and the
Mhm.
cloak of all of this BS is unveiled, every single thing that you put forward in your book, which I haven't read, and on Court TV will be
Mhm.
completely undermined. So I'm looking forward to seeing more of your tweets, but you may consider this a challenge to a duel. So anyway, I'm happy.
Kevin, I strongly suggest you take Nan up on that offer because not too many people get this offer. Really. I mean,
you just call them out. Just call them out.
Yeah, I
That's-
did. You could
and
clip
it's
it.
fair. And listen, this is a win-win for everybody. I think that would be great.
I think it would. I'm not a grifter, although I think I saw he called Olivia a grifter.
All right, we give you lessons. Just take no time at all. Give me a half hour. We'll teach you. It's all good. Listen,
Dan, no, hold on. Dan, would you go on Auntie Deb's show for an interview?
I already did. I was his first.
No, another one.
Oh, another one?
Right,
Yeah,
better
I
better
was
que-
telling him the other day, he was my favorite. He was my favorite interview because he asked me questions. I mean, I think there were questions about this case, but he asked me questions that were just fun
Oh,
and
yeah.
personal. So, and I
Well-
think I said to him, I'd love to come on again. And the answer is yes. If he's
right.
watching, like,
Yeah.
he's
Okay,
here.
good.
He's always here.
oh yeah, Jimmy, I would really love that. Like, I really enjoy. That was my favorite.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Nice.
There you go, Auntie. We're gonna get another one.
Sweet.
But
That'll be
a little
fun.
little harder questions though next time. I'm gonna submit a couple.
There you go.
Oh, I love it. Oh, by the way, so you asked me about motions. So in wrapping some things up from a business standpoint, they were bickering about the issue of Crosby and whether Crosby needs to be subject to a Lanigan hearing. She said no, which is she finds him an expert. Okay, whatever. What's his name? Garrett Wing.
Yes.
Lieutenant Garrett Wing, he's going to wipe the floor with Crosby. This is a battle of the experts. Judge Bev, despite all of the criticism I have of her, she knows that. Let the jury see both of them and we'll see. She's going to, if she hasn't yet, she will obviously let him in. So I'm not worried about that. There was discussion over the view of the premises at 34 Fairview.
Mhm.
I know I mentioned, maybe not to you, I think I told Will this. The last time I came up, I went to 34 Fairview. I went there again this past trip over the last few days just to see it again. I had some questions in my own mind that I wanted to answer. So I'm very, very comfortable with my opinions on that property. So we'll see what happens. I also think when it comes to the view, what's his name? Spanky was saying things like, well, I didn't have an issue with the view itself, but I didn't want the defense to be prejudiced because they wanted the vehicle there. And I thought I'm going to advocate for them. And I don't want there to be any prejudicial effect if the vehicle is there. Let me be very clear. We want the vehicle there, Hank. So I don't care what kind of pandering you were doing to Judge Bev yesterday. The vehicle should be there because it allows spatially anyone looking at it to say, okay, wait, what are they saying? The car backed all the way up here. And how much room is here? Where was a Jeep? And why was a Jeep here? Like, the Jeep has always eluded me. And it's
And everybody else, by the way.
yeah, but I will tell you, over the last few days, I've gotten several people reaching out to me from all over the world with different theories about the
Mhm.
Jeep. Now, I get it. People get reached out to all the time with, oh, can you pass this along to the defense team? And oh, that. I'm not special.
Guilty.
But
I've done that. Sorry.
the amount of people who have tried to get under my nose the significance of the Jeep is notable to me. So yeah, that vehicle will be there. I don't know why there was any back and forth about how everyone's getting to the view itself and whether the attorneys need to be in the bus or who drives with Karen. Look, many times I've attended views on trials of my own, both criminal and civil, and the attorneys don't get on the bus. I just find that so stupid. Like, let the jury sit, have a sheriff's officer chaperone them, and let the attorneys drive themselves with their clients separately. So they bickered a little bit about that. I think the judge will grant that. There was an issue involving the whole dragging and dropping of files of that.
Yeah.
That's where they started off in terms of, not giving. You have the Commonwealth not wanting to give a complete. And Tom, please forgive me because I'm not a techie, but the Commonwealth does not want to give a complete photo image or a complete extraction of this quote detective file to the defense. Now, I do not know what has been given to the defense, but Hank spent enough time yesterday kind of saying, well, they've had full access to this. I've let them know they can come. They've refused to come. They declined the offer. They don't need a court order. And he tried to say to the judge that the defense isn't entitled to see all of it that's in this detective file because there's other matters that would be on it. And the judge, from what I gathered, unless a decision came out, reserved decision, surprise, surprise. But I think they should be able to see a complete, quote, photo image or extraction from that file, replete with metadata and all of the trappings of the digital fingerprints or footsteps or footprints of that data. So when I start hearing things like, well, they're not entitled to this, or we don't want them seeing that, even if it's on unrelated pending investigative matters, I go, oh, what kind of bullshit are they trying to pull now? Because there's a way to put into place something called a protective order where they get the complete photo image or extraction and they can't say anything or use anything else unrelated that they see. But the minute that the Commonwealth starts playing, and I forget who used this analogy with me the other day, but it really resonated, which is like hiding the walnuts, like moving the shells around and, you have to guess under which cup the walnut is. That's what the vibe I'm getting from the Commonwealth here. Like, you got to guess what we're not showing you. And okay, we're going to move our hands around, further gaslight you. And now you can guess. Any judge in any other jurisdiction, and I dare say, Mike, Judge Sisitsky up in that jurisdiction, who I love.
Oh, that's why you're coming here.
You said he was hot. So you did. You did say Judge Adam Sisitsky was hot. I have the video. But anyway.
if you say so, I said it then. So now I know why. Now I know why you're coming here.
Maybe.
Okay.
He's not hard on the eyes, but Judge Sisitsky, he was a fair, no BS judge from what I gathered. Even someone like him or in any other jurisdiction, those judges will say, what is going on? Hand it all over. So if you have trial now in 4 days, 5 days, I don't know what she's going to do. Right. So it's ridiculous. I can't think of any other motions pending, but if I missed or decided, what do you got?
The whole Turtle Boy move yesterday with him being I know.
Yeah.
Is that something that's I've never seen that. To get your lawyer to come out of a courtroom, or even take a shower, jump in a car to drive someplace and be there at a certain time from a clerk.
In an hour.
Tells you What is that? What is that? Is that a power play?
Yes,
That's posturing, right? That's peacocking.
it is posturing.
All right.
And in most instances, the expectation of the court or that clerk would have been to not that the attorney would not have been available. Like, oh, we're going to decide this at 11 a.m. We're going to let you know at 9:45. There's no way you can get here. I have a feeling Jim, the clerk, was like, okay, I'm going to give them notice now, and they're just not going to be able to come. Like, who knows? Aiden could have been with his children. He could have been in
Right.
another meeting.
Who knows? Right.
The attorney, I will tell you, this is 100% true story. I dress like this 90% of the time when I'm not having to be in front of clients or on meetings, etc. I have been called into court. I have been called into important client meetings where federal agencies and state agencies have ambushed their offices. I have shown up in court and meetings and a deposition that got scheduled on short notice because that particular witness was dying and they needed to get his testimony more urgently than it was even scheduled to take place. And I've shown up, well, I mean, I can think of many times I've shown up like this. So
Right.
I actually think it would have been really badass if Tim Bradle walked in like just with like a baller t-shirt and a pair of like khaki pants and flip-flops.
Free Turtle Boy t-shirt.
Yeah, like sup, right? Like sup, Judd. But I can't believe they pulled it off and got there. It was posturing, and that was a loss. That was a loss, Hanky. You got the major L on that one. And I want to take this opportunity to tell your audience, if you are on X or on Facebook, you should take a look at my post yesterday about the Fifth Amendment. Very rarely will I direct someone to, oh, look at me, look at my social media, but I pretty much sum that shit right up. Because the antis are like, including you, Plevin, and Masshole Mafia, and Coffin Doofus, who, by the way,
oh my God,
seriously, honey,
embarrassment.
Yeah, so they're all saying, "Oh, see, look, it makes him look guilty. He's got something to hide." Nothing could be further from the truth.
Yeah.
So I would encourage people to look at my post from yesterday on the Fifth Amendment, and I took a little extra time to draft it to fully explain why this was the most beneficial, pivotal decision for Aiden to make in conjunction with his attorneys. So kudos to you, Aiden. You made the right decision on that. And I bet you there was a piece of you deep down who even hesitated saying, because I know you want to talk, but this was a strategically best move for you. And any optic that anyone is gleaning that he has something to hide because he's going to self-incriminate, it's just absolutely ridiculous. So
do you think it was a major posturing move just to get Aiden on a stand to say those words for a soundbite for a lot of people? That's what I was thinking too. I'm like, this is just like odd that he literally said it 3 times and stood up in front of Cannone and asked for him to take the stand. But Brady was like, I'm going to say it for him.
And I agree. They wanted the soundbite, and I have asserted the Fifth Amendment privilege for many clients. Like most courts, not all, but most will allow the attorney to do it for them, especially in that environment. That wasn't during a trial. So just for a moment, let's harken back to trial 1.0 when Higgy was going to be asked questions about the federal kiosk and the self-extraction that he did with Matt Kelch. And curated his own text messages to hand over to the investigators. That was during a trial. He was going to be asked questions, and you saw Alan say, at this point, Your Honor, I'm going to be asking questions about this and that. And she said, okay, get his attorney in here. And there was the big song and dance show. And that is a scenario in the middle of trial where Higgins would have had to assert the Fifth if he was going to, which he didn't. But this was a pre-trial motion hearing. It would have been 100% proper for Bradle to assert it for Aiden. So when she called Aiden to the sidebar, and asked him whatever she went through with him.
Right.
My understanding from listening to his show when I caught it this morning was, she asked him a few questions and basically said, I'm not going to make you sit up there and do it.
Right.
So
Right.
she did the right thing. But this, as far as I'm concerned, this was like a who's going to flinch first
Right.
moment
Okay.
for Hank. Because I think Hank wanted to be like, I think Hank knows I know Hank knows he's never going to call Aiden. He did this to silence him and for all the other reasons in my social media post.
Yep.
But when push comes to shove, who's going to flinch first? So he's like, oh, this is unacceptable. I want Mr. Carney to say this and that.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I'm really happy that Judge Bev intervened and just took
Yeah.
that off of
Right.
the table.
Right.
It was great. And I think they've gone through all of their motions. There seemed to be a couple of little pieces of outstanding issues where the judge was like, can you get that to me? Can
Right.
you send
Right.
me this? Can you show
Yeah.
me this modified report? But I think they're ready
Well
to
done.
go.
All right, man. All right.
Yeah.
I'm happy.
So what do you think happens after like opening statements? Like the first thing, what do you see happening?
What
A
do
lot
I
of people
see happening?
shocked, or like
You mean, do I see a lot of people being shocked as a reaction to what they hear in opening statements?
yes,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah. Well, and not only shock.
How?
Just so everyone understands my perspective, I want to hear opening statements because I want to hear what complete bullshit the Commonwealth is going to go with. I want to hear the bullshit. You tell me, let me get a roadmap for where you're going, because it's
Mhm.
all been very elusive up to this point, because I know, I presume, and I'm sure all of you do, that Hank is going to go in a uniquely different direction. So whatever that's going to be, I want to hear it. So we're going to have shock. And I mean, when those opening statements happen, the Twitter's going to erupt. Everybody's going to be streaming. It's going to be crazy. But I also want to hear where the defense goes, because of all of the reasons you've been talking about and other content creators, things like, well, we want to hear more about reasonable doubt, which, by the way, just always remember, reasonable doubt more appropriately fits in closing arguments. It's closing arguments.
Okay, that's where you bring it up.
Mostly. I'm not
Okay.
saying you can't bring it up in opening statements, but opening statements are better suited for parties to say, this is what the evidence is going to show. Sup, James? I had a great time with you too. Good to see you. Thank you.
James.
We'll do it again.
James, thank you and JFK for being gentlemen and showing Nan a good time. I appreciate
Yeah,
that.
and
buddy.
disclaimer.
Good job.
Disclaimer. I love.
You did good, bud. You did good, James.
Yeah,
So-
he did good. They even walked me to my car. I
See,
can't.
look, we are blessed. Let's talk. Can we talk about this movement? How would you describe this movement to anybody outside of it? Where do you begin?
I will say this. The movement it's electric for so many different reasons. It is first off, the people who are there. And when I say boots on the ground, I don't just mean those who are standing outside. People who have reached out and just said, I'm sorry, I couldn't meet you and I couldn't get to where you were, but I'm here for you. I support you. So the people there are so fired up and electric and genuine, earthy, salt of the earth type of people. In addition to that, the fact that from a very physical standpoint, those who stand boots on the ground in rain and shine, there's a level of camaraderie that I have experienced. I know not everyone experiences that, and different parts of the movement have different feelings about one another. which I want to say something about in just one moment. But from my experience, the love and faith and caring that people have exuded to themselves and to me is unmatched. But in addition to that, then the amount of love and respect that they show to those who can't just drop everything and come up there is also really palpable. I also have had the opportunity to just exchange almost like pen pals writings with different movement supporters. It's a level of belief in something bigger than oneself that is so magical to me. And I find that so infectious, and the fact that everyone's wants to share that with one another. And I can tell you from communicating with the Reeds, and most notably Karen, that it does not go unnoticed and it does not go unappreciated. What I do want to just take one moment to say is it would be my strong encouragement for anyone who's in the movement who may have opinions or disagreements with one another as strong as they burn, to take into consideration a couple of comments from me if you're having any differences with one another. First, just remember that this is about something bigger than yourself. It is. And it's very hard for someone like me who wears her heart on her sleeve in everything I do to put personal feelings aside, to remember it's just about something bigger than oneself. Two is that I would encourage everybody to just remember that as strongly as you feel about anything concerning this movement and this mission, as strong as you feel about it, that is indicative of a really powerful fire in your belly, and never, ever let that extinguish, because that is what makes this so magical. And lastly, I would encourage anyone who is feeling feelings, whether they're positive ones or most notably negative ones, to simply say this: I am going to put my feelings aside right now and make sure that I'm not pointing fingers. I'm simply just focusing on moving forward, treating everyone with love and respect. And when differences need to be sorted out, maybe they will someday, but in my personal opinion, now is not the time. And the last thing really is that I tend to be a bit of a free agent. So from a very selfish standpoint, if I'm popping around talking to different creators, those of whom people may have differences about, people may have differences about me, people make comments about me. I listen to them. I take them to heart. I maybe too much, but just remember, from a very selfish standpoint, I love everybody and I'm not taking any sides. And I hope there are no sides to take, because as I see it, we're all on one side. And really,
well, we are on a side. We're on. That's why we're all here, Nan. That's why I'm in front of you. That's why I know Mike. That's why I know all these people in the chat. For Karen and for John. John doesn't get justice if Karen doesn't get justice. We got to start somewhere, you know?
Yeah.
Nan, one final question for you.
Yeah.
I know we keep going.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. Take a sip. What's your thought about the actors with the voiceovers on the text?
Oh,
yeah.
Did I just shout in the microphone? Sorry about that.
It was okay. It was perfect. Don't worry about it.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Like you surprised.
Ooh, sorry. No. Yeah. Listen, that's a good reminder, because I almost lost my shit yesterday. There is no fucking reason why there should be narration of, I'm going to say text messages, but by text messages, any type of written communication. If the Commonwealth, it does appear that the Commonwealth has made an application to have voice narration of written communications, whether it's interviews with news outfits, text communications, anything like that. And you have the gaslighting of Spanky saying, well, this is the most equal and fair and balanced way to do it, Your Honor. And we're just going to have a plainclothes police officer read this or this and that. We can have a male and a female do it. And then you have the defense going, what the fuck? It is unheard of. Not only is it unheard of, and brace yourselves, folks, because it sure looks like Bev, if she hasn't done it already, is strongly considering doing this. But look back to yesterday's hearing, because in the beginning, Alan Jackson, when opposing this application for narration, in the beginning, Alan seems a little bit equivocal. Like, well, I don't really think, he's kind of like, well, I kind of object and I need to know more. I need to know more about what he's proposing. And then as that argument, which went on for about 10 minutes on the issue, ensued, Alan started to get fired up because it's complete bullshit. There should be no, quote, acting or theater, as Alan called it.
Yep.
The Commonwealth, neither side, to be honest with you, neither side should be afforded the opportunity to have a third party. And if they're going to have a plainclothes police officer, that's not a third party. But if you're going to have a separate individual, man and or woman, start reading texts just to give the impression or to get that evidence into a jury, it does create not only a slippery slope, because nobody can control the speech, the tone,
inflection.
the inflection, the pause, none of it. And Alan, for example, Alan or the other defense attorneys, they're going to be like, well, objection, like in the middle of it, you're interrupting a play. Like it's going to be a play.
Is this something, do you think, that Brennan and the judge talked about? Let's try and do this beforehand, and then we saw what they discussed yesterday in front of us. That was a predetermined thing they tried doing.
Yes, and there's not going to be case law on this. I would be shocked if someone like Alessi could have done some research on this overnight and filed something saying how improper this is. I got the sense that this was prearranged. And it has this is the shit I don't like about Norfolk County, the court system, that is. It feels so, on its surface, this issue seemed like, okay, maybe that's a fair and equitable thing to do. We have to get the words of Karen Read into evidence.
Right.
Let's have a neutral third party read them. So on its face, it sounds great.
Yep.
But then underneath it is a big, pustule, smelly, rancid, disgusting infection of truth, which is, no, they want to completely bootstrap some additional gamesmanship into what they're doing and start having this underhanded play read to an audience. And and something that also didn't come up in Alan's opposition, but I was thinking about as I was getting pissed off watching you guys, well, I was watching the stream from the court, is that when there is a change in who's speaking, the attention of the jury changes, it improves. So now we're going to have things read, and there's going to be this random cop 1 in plain clothes and random cop 2 in plain clothes reading this. The jury will perk up. Their blood pressure is going to change. Their body chemistries, they're going to listen. So they're going to pay attention to that more. And I'm not saying they shouldn't pay attention to it more, because Karen has said so herself, like, my words don't hurt me. I said those words. I embrace those words. I'm paraphrasing her.
Right.
So, but the jury's going to focus on this, and they're going to see these two people, and they most likely are going to impart some level of incorrect trust in those individuals, or authenticity in what they're saying, which is absolute BS. The other problem I have with all of this is, Alan made, as he was kind of coming into his own on this argument, as he was thinking on his feet, and he did a great job. He was like, wait a minute, what didn't work at the first trial? because we handled this very issue at the first trial where officers would be questioned about things or witnesses would be questioned about things, and they were asked questions about, well, what was written here or what was said. Can you tell me
Right.
what you said on this instance? That worked. So why do
Yeah.
we, it's like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Right.
But brace yourself, because I think the judge is going to pick up what Hank is putting down. And
Does
it's
does that mean that Matt McCabe, he's gonna have someone else read his text messages? Guy never come in the house.
possibly. I don't know with certainty, Tommy, but
Wow.
Yeah, but
possibly.
that door's open.
It
Oof.
let me be very clear. I didn't read this motion, so I don't
Oh.
know if it was on the docket, but when it came up yesterday, I was like, what? What is
Yeah.
this? So I don't know specifically whose words they're looking to do this for. My takeaway was they were looking to get Karen's words.
Karen's Texas, yes.
Because
Yes.
McCabe, Matt, big fat Matt, sorry, but McCabe is not his words that are out of court. He's not they're hearsay.
Right.
So
right.
he can be asked, did you say this? Did you
Right.
tell me what you
Right.
said? Well, I don't know. Do you
Right.
need your recollection refreshed? Well,
Yeah.
yes, I do. Then they show him the out of court document. And he's allowed to say, okay, yes, now I see what I said. Well, what did you say? I said, tell him he's not in the house. That is how you get around hearsay. But Karen, her statements are, they absolutely come into evidence, whether she says them in court or not. And if I were to guess, this motion is more aptly suited to her words. And honestly, I think a smart jury, and by smart, I don't mean highly educated, but a smart jury should hear those words. I've read a lot of her written words, and I'm not afraid of them. And a smart jury should probably draw the same inference. They should look at what she said or listen to it come out in testimony and say, okay, that doesn't make her a killer. It still doesn't mean that she hit him with her car and that he was hit by a car.
Correct.
So, yeah. I think I've made your show run too long.
No. You're just giving us a lot more to think about, you know?
Yeah, it was great to
it's
hear the feedback. The feedback was
Yeah.
great. It was awesome.
Always filling my head with so many different things.
So I was thinking almost like, could Karen pre-tape something and play it? Like, no, okay.
No.
That can't be brought into court. Okay.
So everything that
No.
she said in all the interviews, right? They can't even get her to repeat her own words, right?
Just on
No,
video.
the minute she quote takes the stand, if she takes the stand in any fashion to say her words, like you're kind of proposing, well, what if she says them?
Right.
She's on the stand and
Gotcha.
she's waived her right to
There
not
you go.
testify. So I get it. They want to get those words in. They want to have this kind of impartial wink, wink narration. I think there needs to be controls put into place. Like for the example I would give is, hey, Judge Bev, if you're watching right now, don't let the Commonwealth choose who does the narration. If you're going to grant this motion, and I'm encouraging you, Judge Bev, to not grant the motion because it worked. However, it was working for trial 1.0 in terms of getting out of court statements into evidence. But if you're going to entertain Spanky's absolute lunacy and grant this motion, then the court should select. I mean, go up on the street, find two strangers on the street who are not FKR,
Right. Yeah.
and have them read it. Pick the most purest, impartial third party possible, and not some plainclothes police officer who's looking to get his pension, who's going to inflect and insert his own personal biases into what he's saying.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Have you ever seen anything like this before? This kind of posturing? Because I haven't, and you've been around court more than I have, but I've never had this like problem come up where we need to have text messages read. Here we are, 2025, into court, but you can't have the defendant say them because you can't take the stand. So this will be a problem going forward, I would think, in court systems. In the
Yeah,
future.
it sets a bad precedent. I can only give you an example of in a civil case
Right.
where I had a client. No, it's not my client. Maybe it was his. Yeah, my client was suing someone. That person he was suing died, and the person he was suing, or one of that person's family members had died. This was a long time ago, and I needed some text messages to come into evidence, but the person had died. So
Okay.
I applied for a form of narration to be employed to get those text messages in. I think that's what happened. I might be blurring memories, but ultimately the suggestion of having narration, it's unheard of.
Yeah.
I get it. Frank wants this I'm not Frank. Hank wants this evidence in, but I guess if I were to give you guys some parting thoughts, and it kind of echoes what Aiden Carney says on this. If Hank is so worried about ARCA, if Hank is so worried about getting Karen Reed's out of court statements, whether they're text messages between her and Aiden Carney, text messages between Aiden Carney and Karen's attorneys, which aren't coming in, by the way, communications and notes of reporters of interviews with Karen and her statements made to news outfits or on news related programs or documentaries. If that's what the Commonwealth is focusing on, you got nothing to worry about, folks, because
Yeah.
welcome to the Hackorama. He
Right.
should be gearing up to try her on the evidence.
Evidence, correct.
And I had an opportunity to present something the other day, and I'll impart it to you right here, which is, if Karen Reed is guilty, then let the evidence convict her. But if she is innocent and they know it, as do I, then this trial isn't just a travesty. It's a warning. Because if they can do this to Karen Reed, they can do it to you. And I'll leave you with those thoughts.
Wow.
And they're so true.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Wow.
There's so much truth in that. It hurts. It
That's
really
well said.
does.
Well said.
And that's why
Well
we're
said.
fighting for this, Nan, because this we can't allow this to go on. Like, it's got to stop now. And the more we look, Nan, the more we're finding, and it's not good.
It's
Yeah.
not good. And
No.
the more time that passes, the more will be uncovered. But I have it on good notice that there's a bunch of surprises coming up. So keep showing up.
We'll
All
be
right.
here. Nan, thank
you,
you
Nan.
so much. And again, you're more
You're the
than
best.
welcome anytime.
You're the
Thank
best.
you. I
Can't
love
wait
you
to see
guys
you
so
again,
much.
dear.
And
Yeah.
everybody love one another. I love you all. I'll see you around the cold, dark streets of social media.
You will. Bye, dear. Thank
Bye,
you.
guys.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye. Wow.
Boom. Pretty badass, man.
Wow. Wow. Because, you just unearthed that article about the lady in Brookline. It's Norfolk County District
course
Attorney's
it is.
offices.
Yep.
And here we are talking about all these shenanigans again. And she's right. It's like, if it can happen to her, it can happen to you.
And they're
It
doing
does.
it right in front of our eyes. It's happening to this poor lady crossing the freaking street.
It's Tom, it's fucking anarchy. It really is. There's no law they won't bend or break. There's no
They don't-
lie they won't tell. They don't give a fuck.
They
They don't
care.
care.
No.
It's fucked up, man.
And they're paid. They
deep,
don't
deep.
have to protect you. They're not paid to protect you.
No,
That
only if they
protect
lock
and
you
serve,
up.
that was a slogan that they
Yeah.
ran in California, and somebody wanted. That was the best slogan they come up with: to protect and to serve. It's not what the
What a
cops
gro-
do.
What a great show, dude.
Yep.
I learned a lot today. I was educated today. Man, thank you so much.
Always a good show. We always do good. We do our best.
Right.
Here we are.
Are you going to close out with the contributions and I'm
Yeah.
gonna get out of here?
Yep.
I will talk to you in a little bit. Don't forget to get a hold of Nan afterwards.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, tomorrow early show. I got a doctor's appointment.
What time we're going on?
You want to do 8
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
8 to 9:30?
Whatever you want to do.
Yeah. That works.
It's Good Friday tomorrow, so everybody's gonna be
Yes.
off tomorrow. It's gonna be a good show.
Listen, we gotta do members only. What are you thinking? Maybe you do Monday members only.
Yeah, it's Marathon Monday.
Right.
I don't know, Tom. We can talk about it.
Okay.
You know,
I'll figure it out.
hit that like and subscribe button, guys. 'Cause
Yeah,
it
we
helps
never
with the,
said that. Oops.
I know. We never asked. We never asked. We should ask
know.
more. But this
Yeah.
show sucked. Monster balls. What the fuck, man? Oh
Man.
God. I love you all,
Awesome.
man.
Yeah.
I love you all.
This is
I do.
quite the ride, my friend.
Mods, Kelly, Nick Knack, you guys. Thank
Rocking it.
you. Sammy, thank you.
Not working it.
So we're gonna go on today tomorrow. That's a definite. So we'll see you then tomorrow. Tomlin's gonna read the contributions and a couple other
Yep.
things. And
All right, my
Nan,
bud.
Nan, thank you so much again. And if you're a content creator and you haven't reached out to Nan, no matter how big your show is, she will go on your show and she will help spread the word.
And
Okay.
she will talk. She can talk about anything. She's very open like that. So don't be like intimidated or anything like that, because she
And
is really the nicest person you're gonna meet.
And stay tuned for the nurses that are coming down with these illnesses. We're going to be all over that. And Nan has an expertise in that type of law. And it's interesting
Yeah.
that she's jumped on that as well. And people through this station have reached out to her.
Yeah, imagine that.
As we were talking today,
we are the catalyst
the
for
conduit.
that person, the conduit, for
Right.
that person to reach out and find someone for help.
She just, as we were talking today, that person left a message with Nan that works at Newton Wellesley. That makes me feel good.
We're doing something right, buddy. What else? I mean, listen, we're not comparing ourselves to anybody, but
Nope.
that,
Nope.
and my friend, is working. And by the way, right? Like, our mod, Amy, had cancer. Very fast, very aggressive. Like, she had cancer. She was do something or die. That was her choice. We took her and we gave her the support that she didn't have. And she got through that cancer thing. And we helped her.
And she's thriving.
And we helped her. So we can do this again. If these people have cancer, we can do some miracles, because we've done it before.
Right.
Amy's still with us. You know? And
And
we
you-
had the guts to say, you're not taking this one, she's ours. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And it was us, and it was people in the chat that reached out to her with food
yep.
trains, and it was just, I was like blown away. So if we
Yep.
I love to get behind these nurses that because they're free care and read people.
Yep.
They give their time, their life. There's no reason for this to be happening and not get answers as a family member. The same people with the accident with the meat
Brookline.
track of the meat track of the family. That just doesn't add up for me. And you know what? This platform was put here for a reason, and we're going to keep it going that way. After Karen Reed stops, we're going to keep going with other things and get involved and stick our noses in places that they're normally not supposed to be, and bring light to things that normally aren't. They're in the dark. Because
We're
I never
playing
even knew.
this long
Yes.
ball. They don't understand what
Yeah.
we're like. They don't know period our conversations, but
Yeah, so-
hang out, you guys. I think you'll be we're going places. How about that?
yeah, things are happening.
Yeah.
I'll
it's
talk to you later.
it's because of the people.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because of them. And absolutely.
Yeah.
Because and the guests that we have on, because they're informative, smart, they understand what we're trying to do, and they most importantly want it to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yeah, you're right.
And
Yep.
Shauna, I'm sorry that you feel that way. I don't mean to bother
It's
you, but
over.
it's done and over with. So I don't have a problem with any of it.
But Sean, but thank you for saying it.
Yeah,
'Cause
I appreciate it.
We want to hear
Yeah.
it. So that's why
And-
we're on to Thursday, right? We're on
And,
Friday.
and listen, even if she's against us and doesn't like us, I'm still okay. I think she's a great person. I think that just typing that right there, that's who she is. I'm okay with that. That's great. So,
yeah, I agree with that. So,
well, there you go. I'm sorry that you were attacked. I hope you didn't think it was us attacking you. So,
I don't want to take a step out. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, no.
We got you back.
Yeah.
All right.
So, all right, bud.
I'll I'll let you go. I gotta get the
Tomorrow.
dogs
Yep.
out.
Go
I'll
nuts.
see you. I'll talk to you on the phone today, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right.
Yeah. I'll
I'll
talk
talk.
to you. Be
Bye,
good.
chat.
Oh, I get it, Shauna. Yeah, well, I'm used to it. It's been from the beginning, so that's okay. It's not a big deal. All right. Let's see where we're going here. Toots again, member for 6 months. Thank you, Toots. Good citizen. 5 months, more like 2 years. No kidding. It has. Actually, it's been almost a little more than that, I think. You've been with me from the beginning. New Hampshire dude became a member. Welcome, bud. Thank you so much for coming to the channel and being a member. Mary Cronin, $20. Friend of Mrs. Menendez is in the chat. And again, I'm more than happy to have a discussion with them and talk to them and maybe see if we can help them. I don't know, but I don't think it can hurt. So I'm open to talking to them. Manacle Miss GB became a YouTube member. Thank you so much, members. RVA, thank you, dude. We appreciate you a lot, my friend. Nan is amazing. She really is next level. I don't know how else to say that. It is what it is, right? That's all. And I know when I go to bed at night, I sleep really good because I know I did the right thing. Like when that guy in the diner, when I saw them hit him with the AED and he didn't come up, because usually just a little whack and your heart goes again. When I saw that, I had to walk away, and then I spent 2 days crying, thinking the guy didn't live, but he did. So I can tell you, I'm pretty sure very few people would have done what I did. And that's that. Guy lived, thank God. And the sad part that killed me is when we were leaving, the guy who he went to breakfast with said that he had to go tell that gentleman's wife, who was blind, legally blind, housebound, he had to go tell her that he ain't coming back from breakfast. Crushed me. But God works in funny ways, right? Either way, listen, you all have a great show. We're definitely going to have Nan back. Nan, you'll see her. She'll be on different shows. She'll make the circuit. She's great. She's really great. If you guys have any questions, send them to cputom@gmail. Like, subscribe. I don't know. The outpouring of support I've gotten in the past couple of days has been amazing. So I wish, let's just say, this will be a chapter in the book, because I've been making notes, and I come home and I make little ditty notes about this, that, or petty this, petty that, or this one said that, or I get a whole bunch of stuff. I mean, I have pages and pages for a book. So it's going to be a little different than Kevin's, I'm pretty sure. A lot different. So, with that said, I love you all. Have a wonderful day. Get outside. Get some of that vitamin C. Allergies out there. Careful with the medicines. Yes, the duck race. We haven't got to that yet. I'm sorry. But definitely will. Oh, by the way, another thing. Oh, my word. I'm so sorry. There's an event up in the North Shore that Aiden was talking about. Somebody donated a ticket. So one of you lucky people who are up on the North Shore or wherever want to go to that party, you're going to get a chance to win a free ticket paid for you. So, that said, I want you all to know I love you. Have a great day and send me an email, cputom@gmail.com, and I'll respond to you if I get a second. So thank you all. I love you all. Have a wonderful day. See you tomorrow.